So welcome to 4.4 video lesson, which is Unit 4, Lesson 4. Our topic for today will be graphing slope-intercept form equations. So again, please make sure you have this paper in front of you. Write your name, date, period. And again, you will still be graphing, so if you please grab a ruler before starting the lesson. Alright, keep your graph clean and straight. So let's begin our lesson. In the last lesson, we looked at equations and lines that went through the origin, but probably most of them, or most lines, actually don't go through the origin, and they have these things called intercepts. So previously, it was lines going through origin, and we are probably going to be looking at lines that now don't go through the origin. Now there are two types of intercepts, and the one is called the x-intercept. So let's write in the first one. It says, now the x-intercept of a line is the x-coordinate of a point where the line crosses the x-axis. So if you look at the graph, the blue line is crossing the x-axis at this point, and that point is the x-intercept. An x-intercept occurs when y is equal to 0, and you have to remember this. If you look at the x-intercept, the order pair, if the x value is something, a number, and if you see the y is 0, it's always a number, comma 0 for the x-intercept. Now, the reverse is true for the other one, and the other one is the y-intercept. And y-intercept of a line is the y-coordinate of a point where the line crosses the y-axis. And again, if you look at the blue line on the graph, it's crossing the y-axis at that point, and that point is the y-intercept. And y-intercept, it occurs when x value is 0. Again, order pair is always x comma y. X comes first because in alphabetical order x is before y. And if you look at it, for y-intercept, the number is in the y-axis and x is 0. So y-intercept is always 0 comma a number. Alright, now there is one more thing to learn before we do the practice, and the last one is the slope-intercept form. So let's learn what slope-intercept forms are. Slope-intercept form is written as y equals mx plus b. Now, some of it looks familiar. Part of it, if you remember from the last lesson, Unit 4.3, if you have a proportional relationship, we said it's y equals mx. Remember that? Now this time, last time we didn't have a number or b after this, but now we have a number after mx. That's the only difference. And again, m represents the slope. And this time, that letter b, this represents the y-intercept. I'll spell this better this time. Y-intercept is I-N-T-E-R-intercept. C-E-P-T. That's the y-intercept. Now, we already know that m represents the slope. But then this time we have a b, which stands for y-intercept. I just want to make a note to you that last time we had y equals mx, but now why do we have this number after? Well, that's because when it was proportional, this was always 0. B was 0, so it was plus 0. Remember, y-intercept is a line on the y-axis, and if it was proportional, it was a line straight and going through the origin, and we said that origin is the y-intercept. Remember that? And if the y-intercept is the origin, which is 0, then our b would have been 0. And if it's 0, you don't have to write that. So it was just y equals mx. Basically, it was the same thing, but then we looked at y-intercept of 0. But now we are possibly looking at line graphs where b, the y-intercept, is not 0. So this b and b for the previous lesson is pretty much the same thing. They're both y-intercepts. Alright, so let's do a practice before we move on to some examples, because this will be a review of what we've done from Unit 3.5 with literal equations, and we really will be incorporating this to this lesson. So it says solve for y and write the equation in the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. So we need to have y by itself. Remember the literal equation, we move variables around, and we're going to do the same thing. Here it's y minus 3 equals. We want to find y equals. That means we need to get rid of that minus 3. And how do we do that? We do the opposite operation, opposite of subtraction and addition. So we add 3 both sides. And negative 3 plus 3 cancels out. So you only have y on the left side and 2x. And then 2 plus 3 is 5, so 2x plus 5. And if you see, we solve for y, and it is in y equals mx plus b form. And here n is 2, and the y-intercept b would be 5. Alright, so let's circle the answer. And the next one. If you have 2y minus 2x equals 8, in this one, you would want to solve for y, and on the left side you have 2y and minus 2x. So we need to get rid of something first, and you want to get rid of that 2x and move it to the right side, because if you look at it, you have y by itself on the left side, and on the right side you have both x and b. So if you have x and y on the left side, we need to move that x to the right side. And we're going to do that by adding 2x both sides. So we got rid of negative 2x, and you're only left with 2y. And the right side, 8 and 2x are not like terms. So we're just going to write them as 8 plus 2x. And also, because of commutative property, you can actually switch order of 8 and 2x. If you like, because x comes first in slope-intercept form, you can change the order. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to actually rewrite it as 2y equals 2x plus 8. And we're not done yet, because we need to have y by itself. We need to get rid of the 2. And this is 2 times y, opposite of multiplication and division, so we're going to divide everything by 2. And here, even though it looks uneven, we need to divide everything by 2. And the 2 is gone, so you have y equals 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 1x plus 4. And again, this is now in y equals mx plus b form. And the slope is 1, the y-intercept b is 4. And for people who don't like writing that 1 extra, you can just write it as y equals x plus 4. It's the same thing. You just have an invisible 1, and the slope is still 1. So either one of these both of these are correct. Okay, so this was a mini practice, and now this is the end of the first video of Unit 4, Lesson 4. I will be going over with you the examples beginning in video number 2. Okay?